almost all marriages fail in divorce, or you end up living together as glorified roommates. Date your wife or someone else will. Most folks will think you have marital problems. There aren't a lot of marital problems. Communication, that's the marital problem.
What is the secret to a successful marriage?
Some of you listeners are like, "Oh, come on, don't say this." I'm like, it's not cliche. It's true. It's true. If you can pull off loving Jesus more than your spouse, you got a chance. Almost all marriages fail in divorce, or you end up living together as glorified roommates. That fire goes out. So you got to do a few things. One is tap into the source where love actually comes from. That's Jesus. It also allows you to have a reference point. So both of you, as you grow closer to Jesus, according to a biblical model, you are getting closer to each other as you move toward that similar point. Otherwise, you're not the same dude that you were 10 years ago. Do you have any chance that you're going to be the same dude you are now in 10 years?
No.
No, you're going to be different. And you don't know exactly what that's going to look like. And then you could say the exact same thing about your spouse. And though y'all may be near and close in this point of your journey, at this point in time you're near, in 10 years, your future self and her future self may be worlds apart, irreconcilably. What is the guarantee you're actually going to grow together over time? Just because you share a house? Well, good luck. That's just not how it works. Too much data proves that is not to the is just not a true statement of like, oh, time and proximity means that we are ideologically growing closer. It's just not true. People change. This allows an anchor point, a reference point, and it provides a basis, a standard, which can be our foundation and our dispute resolution center. So neither one of us are the ultimate authority. Scripture is, period. All ties broken right there. I mean, like all controversial ties, not familial. And so, love Jesus. Then you got to date your wife. Never stop pursuing her. This is something big. I was just listening to Mark Driscoll on Instagram, who hates us all. And he said, hey, date your wife or someone else will. I'm like, whoa, that's savage. But it's true, man. Hey, once you get married, that's not the finish line. That's the starting line. And whatever you did to get her to marry you in the first place, keep doing that, and you will be able to walk hand in hand and happily ever after into marriage. My marriage, man, it's good. It's strong. It's fun. It's vibrant. It's romantic. It's passionate. It's working. And so somebody can castigate me all they want regarding some of the foundational things that I've just said regarding faith. But what you can't deny is it's working. Maybe I'm a moron, but it's working. So it must not be so dumb after all. How's your marriage?
Great point.
And so
Great
I'm like,
point.
If it works, then maybe, just maybe, you should remove the chip from your shoulder and lean in and think that there might be something that I'm onto here. Because most marriages are not working, and mine is growing stronger over time, not weaker. We're becoming more in love, not more embittered. And that is extremely rare. And it's taken a lot of effort because our first 2 years was not good.
Why is that?
Because I was an extremely strong personality, and she was too. I'd say it is what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. And that was us. And so our marriage and our first couple months was really great. And after we'd settled into happily ever after together, after a few months, we started locking horns and hard. Now, her, being a woman raised in the 21st century, she is caught up in the ether of mad third wave feminism. Every woman today is caught up in the effects of at least third wave feminism, meaning feminism has so infiltrated and affected our culture that a lot of our marital relationships have been affected by feminism in ways that we can't even understand. And for her part, she always wore the pants in all the relationships she had been in, and she had kind of control and power in that. And she was a bit of a man-eater. You know, she was beautiful, and she was smart, and she was strong and she was opinionated and she was a little unyielding, and so anyway, and I believed I was in charge and I was supposed to be the leader of my home. And so that ended up being very tough. Our next 2 years would not be rainbows and butterflies. This would be tough.
How did you work through that?
So most folks will think you have marital problems. There aren't a lot of marital problems. Communication, that's the marital problem. There's not much else. Everything else is just personal problems brought into a relationship. It's, your selfishness bumped into her selfishness. And so you had a marital problem. But it was really just, no, you're evil and you suck, and she's evil and she sucks. And when you put that together, it's explosive and bad. And so, and I'm not saying people out there, you're evil and you suck. I'm saying you and me and you, everyone's evil except Jesus. And so we've got to somehow become less selfish people. We've got to become better people. And that took a couple years to gain a level of selflessness that would actually make marriage be good. And that was a hard fought war, because I thought I was a pretty selfless guy before I got married. I'm doing ministry and I had some money from military. And so I would take out big groups of friends and I'd pick up the check, and I was in my own gruff military way of I thought I was infiltrating into the civilian populace and I'd become one of them. And all of them look like I'm this wildly intense G.I. Joe action figure come to life, hardcore and a little bit psychopathic. That's how I was perceived. And I would find this out much later, that I wasn't this super spy Houdini infiltrating no one knows where I just came from. No, everyone was keenly aware intuitively that I just stepped off the battlefield. So I was an intense force to be reckoned with relationally, even though I was doing everything I felt like I could in my power to be selfless and loving and kind. Still, me trying my hardest was still way too harsh to nurture a new blushing bride. I thought I was being sweet and understanding and patient and selfless because I was trying hard. And compared to my former peers, I was. But I still wasn't good enough to actually flourish this woman I'd been given. And I had to get better.
How was that journey to improvement initiated?
The Lord had to deal with me specifically. Because I had to just bump in of so I thought I was a selfless guy. And then you get married and all of a sudden I don't have me time anymore. It's us time. When I'm not, I'm working, and I'm working on a degree. So I'm full-time school and work. And now, I've got a bride to think about. And when I have downtime, it's kind of I'm just going to sit on the TV or sit on the couch and I'm going to watch Conan the Barbarian. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to bring it way back. Fun story. That was one of the very first movies we ever watched together.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm going to watch that. And she's like, well, I don't want to watch that. I'm like, all right, well, have a good one. I'm going to watch Conan the Barbarian.
There's another TV over in that room.
Yeah, fantastic. That's fine. Have fun with it. And then, maybe you do compromise on a movie. Fine, we'll watch Over the Hedge. Boo. We'll watch a little cartoon movie. And she's like, all right, it's not so bad. She's soft. She's sweet. I like cuddling up with her. I'm like, all right, well, what do you want to watch now? College Kid, I'm like, let's watch back to back. Double header. Now it takes me and my wife 3 nights to finish one movie.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.